So this is a movie that has been on my radar for a little while. Um, it got recommended to me on Tubi every now and then. There's a lot of horror movies that get recommended to me on Tubi that I don't watch, or I watch something else instead that I'm more interested in. And this one definitely hasn't been on my radar as long as others, though. Like Wreck and Hatchet were recommended to me for years on Tubi before I finally watched it. This one, I don't think I started getting it until a few months ago. Scott Spiegel, who recently passed away, directed this movie. It's a shame that when I saw those articles about him passing away, people only referred to him as the guy that gets his pizza stolen in Spider Man 2. But he's done a lot more than that. He helped direct Evil Dead 2. And, he directed this movie. He's done more than Spider Man 2. Um, anyways, both Sam and Ted Raimi are in here. They get killed. Bruce Campbell's in here. He plays a cop near the end of the movie, doesn't have that big of a role. The description of the movie is that it's supposedly a movie about people banding together to stop a killer, but that is not the case at all, though I don't believe that's the fault of the movie. Descriptions on movie apps sometimes just aren't very accurate or very lazy. Disney Plus definitely has a lot of lazy descriptions for their TV show episodes. But anyway, let's talk about the movie. The killer should have been really predictable, but for some reason I didn't predict him. He is the manager of the show, of the store. I think his name was Bill. It's Bill and Danny. And Danny's selling the store because he owns 51%, but Bill only owns 49%. And he doesn't want it to be sold, but he's just going to let it happen because Danny owns more of the store. That should have been immediately a red flag because he's got a motive to kill these people. But nope, I didn't see it coming. But as soon as he walked back on screen, we hadn't seen him since like maybe 20, 30 minutes into the movie. He had got knocked out with a hammer and then we just never saw him again. I was like, yeah, he's the killer. I had thought that it might be Linda because she was the only one who didn't get a graphic death. But I didn't start thinking that until the movie was almost over and before the reveal. But then I was like, a lot of 80s movies, they don't have women killers. Besides maybe Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp. Women's killers became more popular in the 90s and the 2000s. Like, you can name so many from the 90s and 2000s and after that. But 80s? Not really. So I was like, yeah, it probably won't be her. And it wasn't her. They reveal her body a little bit after the killer's revealed. There's this asshole named Craig who sexually assaults the main character and gets very physical with her. He ends up being one of the only survivors. It's a see no evil situation. In see no evil, the first one, they also had a really shitty stalker, abusive ex-boyfriend who pimped his girlfriend out. And he ends up being one of the only characters to survive. There was like 3 people that survived in that movie. I don't get when horror movies let shitty characters survive. Sometimes it makes sense. Like, oh, the guy that you don't want to live lives. Like, that worked in a Doctor Who episode one time, but man, I don't think it really works for horror movies. Anyway, the movie, it was pretty solid, pretty good kills. The acting wasn't the greatest. The plot was kind of there. Craig was clearly meant to be a red herring, but he's one of the dumbest red herrings I've ever seen. Like, they're like, oh, he may have killed a guy. He almost killed a guy. And, they're clearly trying to make you think he's the killer. But then, they immediately pull you off his trail, which is clearly meant to be a shock, where he's standing behind his ex-girlfriend, and Danny tries to warn her. But then Danny ends up getting killed when trying to go after her. So since he's behind her, obviously he's not the one that's killing Danny. And that's the reveal right there. It's it's a solid movie. Not too much to talk about. Like, it's nothing crazy. If you're in the movie for good kills, I'd say watch it for that though.